Smart, smart, do. We are the children, the children of God. Come, come, come. We change our world. We have what it takes to do it smart and make it smart. Welcome to our Smart Do.
Welcome our class 5s for today's Serai lesson. I hope you are well. Now, today we're going to continue from where we left off. Now, we are going to look at the area of not to condemn others. Not to condemn others. Now, in our last topic, our last unit, we were learning about, loving our enemies. So that is where we're going to start. Loving our enemies, or doing good to our enemies. And we learned that in that Jesus taught us that we should love and pray. We should love and pray for our enemies. We should love and pray for them. Now, that one now is going to help us to understand what is to condemn. What is to condemn? Now, we say to condemn is to reject. One, to condemn is to reject or criticize a person or an issue without having the true facts. So we can criticize or we reject an issue or even somebody because we don't have the true facts. Maybe we have heard something about them, but we don't want to do what? We don't want to find out more. We just want to criticize them and say they are not good, they are bad, and all these manner of things. And that is what we call to condemn. Now, Jesus warns us against condemning others. Why? Because if we condemn, we shall also be condemned. Just like the Lord's prayer tells us, that if we fail to forgive, we shall not be forgiven also. So therefore, we should not condemn others if we don't want to be condemned. And condemning also can be referred to as judging others, and yet we don't have the facts of what is going on. Now, in the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 1 to 5. What does the Bible tell us about condemning others? Do not judge others, so that God will not judge you. So the same way, do not condemn others, so that God does not condemn you. For God will judge you in the same way as you judge others, and He will apply to you the same rules you apply to others. Why then do you look at the speck in your brother's eye and pay attention to the log in your own eye? How dare you say to your brother, please let me take your speck out of your eye, when you have a log in your eye? You hypocrite. First take the log out of your own eye, and then you will be able to see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eyes. Now we find that as we live, we are faced with many challenges, or we come across difficult situations, and people may react to these situations not because they wanted to, but they were forced by these circumstances. And when we learn about what they did, we start saying that if it was me, I wouldn't have done that. If it was I in that situation, I would have done things differently. Yet we don't know what made them do that. So by doing that, we are condemning them, and yet we don't know what was there for them. In the book of John, chapter 8, verse 1 to 11, we learn we read about a woman caught in adultery. Now, we know that adultery is one of, we should not commit adultery, as it is one of the commandments that God gave to Moses. And so here, we see a woman caught in adultery. Let's read it here. Then everyone went home, but Jesus went to a Mount of Olives. Early the next morning, he went back to the temple. All the people gathered around him, and he sat down and began to teach. The teachers of the law and the Pharisees brought in a woman who had been caught committing adultery, and they made her stand before them all. Teacher, they said to Jesus, this woman was caught in the very act of committing adultery. In our law, Moses commanded that such a woman must be stoned to death. Now, what do you say? They said this to trap Jesus so that they could accuse him. But he bent over and wrote on the ground with his finger. And they stood there asking him questions. He straightened himself up and said to them, whichever one of you has committed no sin may throw the first stone at her. Then he bent over again and wrote on the ground. When they had this, they all left, one by one, the older ones first. Jesus was left alone with the woman, all standing there. He straightened himself up and said to her, where are they? Is there no one left to condemn you? No, sir, she answered. Well then, Jesus said, I don't condemn you either. Go, but do not sin again. So therefore we can see that Jesus knew how people worked, and they were all planning to do what? To stone this woman, as the law of Moses commanded. So therefore, what happened? Jesus asked the Pharisees and the teachers of the law, is there anyone of you who has never committed a sin? And because we know we are not righteous, but we try to live in the ways of God. So what did Jesus do? Told them, if you have never committed a sin, may you be the first one to throw a stone. And looking at themselves, they realized they were more sinners than maybe this woman. So they left the woman alone. So Jesus saved the woman by telling her, go and do not sin again. Though she had sinned, Jesus did not condemn her, but he forgave her and let her go. So therefore, we should not condemn others, and we should learn and understand the situations that force them to do whatever they did and help them overcome those situations. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson. Goodbye.